How's it going, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with Friday Questions and Answers, episode 36. And you might be wondering why I'm at this weird angle. Um, the lighting in my room is horrible, absolutely horrible, and I was trying every single position in my room to have decent lighting. And this is the worst. I mean, the only place that it wasn't horrible lighting. So I'm sitting on the ground right now. The struggle is real. Um, yep, my room is messy and everything, but just chill. It'll be okay. But I apologize that last episode didn't get uploaded till Monday or Tuesday. I'm not even sure. Might have been Sunday. I think it was Monday afternoon. So I apologize for the short week, but just didn't have enough time. But I'm here. It's all about getting back on track. But if you're new to the series, as always, leave a question in the comment section below so you can be featured in next week's episode. Question can be anything, absolutely anything about my personal life, sports related, anything you want to ask. Alright, so let's get down to the bottom of the comments. There's a bunch of how many questions was there today? In this episode, 33? Why was it so many questions on such a short notice? Okay. I'm trying to make this quick, I hope. Okay, Jack Thou asked, how does Clemson rebound after the loss to FSU? It's going to be tough, but I mean, the only games I can see Clemson losing, I'm not even sure of their schedule off the top of my head, but if they match up against Virginia Tech, that could be a loss. If they match up against Miami, that could be a loss. I'm not sure if they play either of those schools. And then South Carolina will be tough. But, I mean, if they can win the rest of their games, or a portion of their games, and somehow still be ranked in the top 16, I think they will get a BCS berth just because of their fan base, and a bowl will probably jump on the Clemson bandwagon real quick to be able to send out the invite just for money if they're eligible for a BCS bowl. So if they can win out, at least not lose more than one more game, I think they'll rebound by having an opportunity to make a BCS bowl. Alright, BZGamer1147 says, I really like your videos. This is my first time asking on questions and answers. With Sam Bradford out for the season with a torn ACL, what do you think the Rams are going to do at the QB position? And also, do you think Jake Locker rushes injury in the game against the 49ers? Sorry they lost so badly, by the way, but still go Niners. And lastly, do you like hockey? Well, first of all, I think a lot of you already know the Rams tried to gauge Brett Favre's interest, and he finally said no after coming back. I mean, he's been out for years, and that really shows you how desperate the Rams are right now at the quarterback position. I mean, they have Kellen Clemens, they signed Brady Quinn. I mean, personally, if I was them, I would give one of two guys a shot, Tim Tebow or Vince Young. One of those guys has to be better than Kellen Clemens or Brady Quinn. I mean, Kellen Clemens has like the worst quarterback rating QBR in like the last 6 years for out of quarterbacks that have at least 350 pass attempts, some crazy stat like that. So they are going to plummet unless they can pick up a quarterback that will produce a little bit. I mean, they have talent, the Rams do, but I think their best shot really is to sign either Tim Tebow or Vince Young, really. And do I think Jake Locker rushes injury? Kind of in a way, kind of not in a way, but I mean, we had a chance in this game, so I mean, I understand him rushing, if you want to call it rushing, because we knew we had a chance going in the game, and with Locker playing quarterback, that boosted our chances so much better. But for long term, yes, if it would have helped him, it enabled him to remain healthy the rest of the season, and he rushed it just for this one game, I think that's stupid. But do I think he rushed his injury? Not really. I honestly think it wasn't as serious as none of us thought. I mean, as all of us thought, and they just really want to take precautions because of the initial thought of the severity of the injury, and I think honestly, if it came down to it, he could have played the next week. So I think he's okay, but hopefully especially with the bye week. I mean, with the bye week coming up, I mean it's okay to play him because he'll have a week to rest if he kind of tweaks it a little bit more. But you can go on the other side and say he would have had another week to rest, then it probably could be completely 100% by the next game against. I believe the Rams next. I'm not sure, man. But to answer your question simply, I don't really think so. All right, and lastly, do you like hockey? Nope, I've never watched hockey. I mean, it's never on TV really, so there's no way I could possibly get into it. I apologize, something's bothering me. All right, MGS fan 1234 says, do you feel more comfortable for Alabama going against Florida State, Oregon, or Ohio State in the national championship game? Without a doubt in my mind, out of those three teams, every day of the week I'd want to play Ohio State. No question about it. Jeremy Dotson says, do you think it's fair? I know, and puts in parentheses, I know you're an Alabama fan, but that Alabama is number one in the BCS poll just because they have won back-to-back national championships. Yes, I really do think it's fair because when you think about it, when there's a team that's proven they win no matter what, they can win the national championship year after year. They've proven to be winners. You can't dethrone them because they. What am I trying to say? You can't dethrone them just because they're not beating schools 59,000 to nothing like Oregon is every week. I mean, you can't. I think it's stupid. And I think that's kind of where the playoffs make everything a lot more fair. If this is a playoff year with the BCS poll, the top four would not matter whatsoever. If obviously if the front four were actually clear cut. But I really do think it's fair. I don't think Alabama should be dethroned unless they lose. I mean, completely honest. I think it's completely fair. I think most of the country really agrees with that too. Chance Baker says, do you believe in the gooch? Don't know what that means. Also, would you rather have a Lamborghini or a souped up lift truck? A Lamborghini, because trucks cost too much on gas. And how much do you love America? The state America's in right now, frick, I don't know. Razorback 1995 asks, what does the fox say? It says, ring a ding ding da ding da ding ding. Oh, no wonder there's so many comments. These two guys went back and forth. I was wondering why there's so many comments. Boston Celtics 418th says, or asks, who would win between Ohio State and Oregon right now? Keep in mind that Ohio State's all-time record versus Oregon is 8-0. I really don't care about all-time record. I still believe Oregon would win pretty easily. I seriously am just not impressed whatsoever with Ohio State, just not one bit. I still believe wholeheartedly they should have beat Northwestern. I mean, they should have lost to Northwestern because of that last retarded spot of I don't even want to get into that. I say that every single video, pretty much. But I just think there's way too much speed for Oregon for Ohio State right now. Ohio State, I just don't think is. I mean, this is where everything is tricky because Ohio State is a team that's won however many consecutive games, but do they have that one impressive win over anybody? They really don't. They have absolutely no win that stands out in the last 2 years, and you're like, wow, I can't believe they beat that top 10 team, that top 5 team. I'm not even sure how many top 15 teams they beat, if they beat any. So, I mean, I think Ohio State's really benefited from playing in a Big Ten conference, which I think is on par, if not worse, than the ACC right now. And that's just completely honest. People may agree with me, disagree with me, but that's what I think. And what is Ohio State's chance of making the national championship? I hope you're not an Ohio State fan. I'm not trying to dog them. It's just my honest opinion. Chance of making the national championship, I would go as low as 5. I'd go as low as 5. Man, my back's starting to hurt. Can I lean back? Oh, man. I'll lean on something. Alright. I can't even figure out what these questions are. Some people. Okay, Team Camp 11 says, God, my back's broke, man. Last year, Missouri was decimated with injuries, and all they heard was, you have to have depth to compete in the SEC. Now that they have beat Georgia and Florida, all the fans have heard it's only because of injuries. What I'm getting at, do you believe Missouri is for real, or have they just been lucky thus far? And also, why can some Florida and Georgia fans claim injuries as an excuse when Missouri couldn't use that as an excuse last year? I think it's a combination of people trying to be SEC homers and trying to neglect the fact that anybody that comes into the SEC as a just a newcomer team in joining the conference, try to make them look as what's the word I'm looking for, as pitiful, I guess, as possible, especially compared to the other SEC teams that have been there, try to make the SEC look better. So I mean, that's a double standard and really hypocritical of those fans for saying that. I understand what you're saying there. And I do understand what happened in Missouri last year. James Franklin was beat up all year. Matty Mock wasn't, ready. The dude, was he a true freshman last year? Not sure. And Dorial Greenbeck was finally coming on, so I understand that claim last year. And do you think Missouri is for real or have just been lucky? I think it's a combination of the two, really. I think they're a good football team. Have they been lucky to play the teams they've had at the point in the season they have or they did? Yeah, to a point, but still, to beat a Georgia team and to beat a Florida team, which are two quality, good teams, doesn't matter who you are, and especially to beat a Florida team who is supposed to, which I believed and a lot of people believe was the number one defense in the country, and to score 38 points on them with your backup quarterback, that's good. And that's a good Florida team. That's a good Georgia team. I know they're injured, not as good as it could be. Backup quarterback in for Florida, but still, two quality wins. And I've said this before. And they're just going to get better and better, and as long as they're undefeated, none of the stuff in the past that matters. All the stuff that matters is in the future. They're going to get better and better. Confidence is going to keep growing. You start out the season 6-0, you grow that confidence. You get to beat a Georgia team that is decimated to a point. They still beat a good Georgia team. The confidence grows even more. Blow out a Florida team, which is supposed to have a good defense. Confidence grows more. And if they can beat South Carolina, I think they're going to win the SEC East, simply put. So, it's been a combination of being for real and being lucky, but that just helps them further on and makes them even better. Sometimes you have to be lucky to get the credit that you deserve, and that does kind of take away from it, not from me, not from my perspective, but from a lot of other people's perspective, because they want to be SEC homers, but I think they are for real. And they're just going to get better and better. Hopefully that made sense. Angry XX Midget 41 asked, what do you think Tennessee's chances are of making the playoffs this year? And he said in parentheses %. And also, what do you think about Vanderbilt possibly becoming a championship contender in the future? And do you think they are here to stay? The Titans' chances of making the playoffs. I want to remain optimistic. We've played a tough schedule thus far. We've shown that we can compete with the best, and we came up short on a few games. I think we play the Texans again, we'll win. I think we can split games with the Colts, even though the Colts look like the superior team right now. We have some easy games coming up. We'll be able to sweep the Jags. Hopefully, dear God, sometimes it seems like we always screw up against one game against the Jags, but hopefully we can take those gimme wins. So, percentage-wise, I don't think we win the South. I don't think it's out of the question, but it's very unlikely. But so if we do make the playoffs, it'll be at a wild card spot. And I would say maybe 30%. It's not impossible. We have a chance, but I'm not too confident to say it. And what about the possibility of Vanderbilt becoming a championship contender? I don't know if you can go that far. They're definitely a step in the right direction. look at the team's recruiting. Example, Vanderbilt, how much better it's getting. And it'll take a while because, I mean, the recruiting for Vanderbilt's just really starting to pick up. If James Franklin can stay there for a while, he'll grow a recruiting base. He'll get better and better over time. And I think I wouldn't say if there's a chance, I wouldn't say it's in the near future. I mean, they're not. I mean, they're competitive. They're not the Vanderbilt of old. I mean, obviously they're competitive. They beat teams like Georgia, which I predicted in the preseason, by the way. Want to throw that in there. But I think when you say, do you think they're here to stay? I think they're here to stay to be competitive. I don't think anytime soon you're going to see Vanderbilt back to the 2-3 win team, 3-2 win. What am I trying to say? The 3-2 win seasons that you've seen in years past. I think they're here to stay to be competitive in the SEC. I'm not honestly sure if they're going to be a championship contender anytime soon, but as long as you stay competitive like they are, I think they're going to stay for a while and continuously get better. Little chunks at a time, getting better. But I think if all their cards fall the right way, they possibly can. But as long as you're competitive, you have a chance. I think they're here to stay to be competitive, definitely. God, my back. Oh, God, it just popped. Wow. Ooh, sorry about that. Tyler Bishop asked RBT, do you think the Dallas Cowboys will win a playoff game this year? Let me put this one into percentage-wise. I think they can win the East. The East is such a cluster right now. I think they can go to I think they can win the East. I mean, it's kind of obvious right now of how, unless some team picks up the slack and starts playing out of their mind for the rest of the season, the Cowboys, I believe, obviously will win the East. But win a playoff game, I mean, they've shown to be competitive against teams like the Broncos, and I mean, if they're competitive against teams like the Broncos, they can be competitive if they play their cards right. Every against anybody in the NFL. So if I had to put it into a percentage, I'd say 50%. Alright, Baller B Scott asks, sorry, I'm so squirmy right now. Which NFL team, in your view, is the most likely to draft Johnny Manziel next year? Which team is most likely to pick Manziel? I think pressure-wise, if the team that's going to have the most pressure to draft him if the season doesn't get any better, especially with quarterback play, the Houston Texans, obviously, because I mean they're already starting up campaigns, draft Manziel, etc. A team that would make the most sense, honestly, I think would be the Philadelphia Eagles. And any team really that's looking for a starting quarterback, any team that I believe doesn't have one of the top 15 quarterbacks in the NFL, I think they would definitely give him a shot. And with such deep quarterback class there is, I think any team will take a risk on him in the first round, maybe somewhere in the second round. But there will be a team to take a risk on him. But if I had to say two most likely teams, I'd say the Texans and the Eagles. And then okay, never mind. He didn't ask a question. Mega UGA Dogs ask, Alabama plays at Auburn this year, and Auburn might be Alabama's last tough opponent of the regular season. Do you worry about the Tigers could ruin the national championship season? I mean, there's always that little worry in the back of your mind, but when I think about it more and more, this is the same Auburn team that had to lead a long drive down the field with like a minute left to beat Mississippi State, which is one of the worst, probably the second worst team in the SEC right now. They played pretty much just like we did against Texas A&M, but Texas A&M can score on anybody and they can give up points to anybody. That's just A&M, and they were lucky to come out on the top of that one. They lost LSU pretty handily, so I'm not really worried. We seem to lock down on those speed option quarterbacks that have the ability to run the football, and Nick Marshall, I believe, would not really give us much of a threat to throw the football against our secondary. So just all in all, I'm not really worried as long as Jake Holland is a starting linebacker for Auburn. No matter who else is on the team, if he's a starting linebacker, I'm not worried. So I mean, yeah, there is a little worry in the back of your mind, but I think we could handle Auburn. I really do. I don't think in a year's time they've gotten what we beat them last year, 45-0. I don't think it was 49-0. I don't think they've gotten 49 points better over a span of 1 year. Okay. Also, ask another question. FSU is making statements all over the place. Will Bama be the last statement FSU makes, or will it be Bama making the statement? Also, do you think the Atlanta sports teams are destined to choke in the postseason? I mean, that's hard to say right now. We don't know who's going to make the national championship yet. I mean, Florida State does look impressive, but you gotta watch out. I mean, I think it's a big difference with Jameis Winston at quarterback compared to EJ Manuel. But you gotta always remember Florida State's that team that looks like they're a national championship for sure team, and they end up losing to an NC State, to a Boston College, to a Wake Forest. I mean, we just have to wait and see, and don't get too far ahead of us. But they still got to get past Florida, which is always tough for them. I think Florida will have a decent chance to win that game just based on their defense alone. But we just got to wait on that real quick. And if they play each other right now, as an Alabama fan, yeah, I'd be worried because Jameis Winston is an absolute beast. But I wouldn't be confident to say Florida State would win. I wouldn't be confident to say Alabama would win. I'm just saying we need to wait and see if Florida State can get through the season and actually prove they're a number 1 and number 2 team in the country before actually getting there. So we don't need to jump to conclusions quick. And also, do you think Atlanta sports teams are destined to choke in the postseason? No, because I mean they've had success in the postseason. Not recently, but they have. Lately, it does look that way, but I don't think it's destined. Shix Dig the Stutter. I like that username. Asks, should Alabama start scheduling a tougher schedule with them being back-to-back national championships and playing teams like Georgia State and Chattanooga? I don't think there should be any emphasis with dealing any emphasis in regards to scheduling on the fact that we've been in back-to-back national champions. I mean, in regards to scheduling, that's absolutely irrelevant. I mean, other teams do this. We'll do it. I mean, we still have a tough schedule. Even though this year's schedule, we got by a little easy without having to play a Georgia or Florida out of the East, which didn't prove to be that costly this season. I mean, the schedule's. I mean, as much as people dog on the schedule, I think we're still ranked like top 20, top 10 in the country schedule-wise. So I don't understand the big deal. People just try to look at everything they can. I mean, if you look at every team's schedule really in the country, I'd probably say 70% of them have an FCS level school on their schedule. I mean, this really helps out the teams they play. They give them a big paycheck. Georgia State's an FBS level team, even though they're horrible. They're still an FBS level team, so it's really one FCS team on their schedule. But as a fan, I would like to see it. But I mean, I don't think they should have to have a tougher schedule just because they've won back-to-back national champions. I mean, what the frick? I can't get that right. With them being back-to-back national champions. As a fan, if I had a choice here, I would have 8 conference games, 1 tough game, I guess you could say, against at least a top 15 team, maybe a top 20 team, and then 2. With that being like saying, for example, the first game of the season against what am I trying to say? Against the Texas. First game of the season against the Texas. The next 2 games be mediocre games, as in mediocre level BCS teams, or maybe a above average non-BCS level team. Say a Houston. Throw in a Houston. So Texas, Houston. Another mediocre level team will go non-BCS here and say a Utah State. Utah State's not a bad football team. They have a good quarterback. Put that together, I think it's the perfect schedule. Then you have one cupcake, whether it be a FCS or a lower level FBS team like a Idaho or New Mexico State, whatever. But that would be my ideal schedule. But no, to your question. Also, how long is this video? Gosh dang. 24 minutes. Wow, this is a long time to sit with your back breaking in half. Mega UGA Dogs ask, is the targeting rule unfair? Yes, I do think it is. I understand the implications of player safety more in the college game than I do the NFL, because in college you're not getting paid, so I mean, this isn't your job right now. In the NFL, man, you're making millions of dollars to play a game. It comes with consequences, and just because you're money hungry and try to get for more money, and I assure you, I promise that half the players uh, that propose and file these lawsuits, whether it be the injury wise, concussion wise, or even the guys that proposed or filed the lawsuit against the EA Sports for the NCAA football game because they used their likeliness in the video game. I promise you, they do not care one bit. They do not care one bit about what's actually happened. They don't care about their injuries. They don't care about being exposed in a video game. They just want money. And it's sad that that's changing everything, changing the game, the way the game's played. It's sad just because the guys are money hungry and want more money, and that's why the targeting rules out, because they don't want players getting hurt, lawsuits, or just trying to avoid lawsuits that players file just to get more money when they don't even care behind the actual thing. They act like they care, but they don't. So in college, I understand it. In the NFL, I don't. With that said, I do still think it's a stupid penalty. I mean, I understand a penalty when it's obvious, head-to-head, ridiculous. The guy isn't even catching the football. He's just running his route, and the ball 75 foot over his head, and the safety full speed runs into him, targeting his head, helmet to helmet, obvious helmet to helmet, with an exact intent of doing so. But you're in the middle of a game. I hate it when it's a big hit, and just because it's a big hit, they automatically call penalty. That's just ridiculous. That just takes away from the sport as a whole. I think the ejection rule is stupid because, I mean, you shouldn't be ejected for the rest of the game and possibly even the first half of the next game just because it's a split-second decision that you're just trying to make a play. You're not trying to hurt the guy. You're just making a play, and you accidentally hit him with your head. And that's stupid. And the stupidest thing is you go back and the referees figure out they got it wrong, figured out that they're stupid and got it wrong and are embarrassed in front of the whole entire country, yet they still allow the 15-yard penalty. That's just stupid. That's absolutely stupid. So, to answer your question, yes, it's unfair. It's very, very unfair and stupid, and I hope they fix it soon. But no, it's probably not going to get fixed. It's probably just going to lead to more things. If you accidentally scratch a guy with your fingernail, you're ejected for life and you have to go to jail. I mean, that's just how the league's going. It's stupid. Daniel Perry asked, if both Oregon and Florida State go undefeated, who do you think is more deserving to play the national championship against Alabama, assuming Bama wins out? Man, this is such a tough question, and it brings so much controversy, and it puts me in a bad spot because some people probably hate me for whatever I end up saying. But I mean, you can go to one of two ways. I mean, you can go the resume way or the gameplay way. You can go with Oregon if they finish out the season undefeated. They'll obviously, coming from the Pac-12, the teams they played have the better resume, while still for the most part of the season blowing out their lower tier teams by a lot of points. And you have Florida State, who on film in the games look like they're the better team, but hasn't played the tough schedule. But in this situation, I think it's very unique because I would usually go with the resume, but Florida State, just something about them looks so impressive. They look very, very good. Jameis Winston looks like a heck of a player. Their defense is playing very well. Held a Clemson team to 14 points, which is supposed to have an insane offense. And they're just looking very good. And I really right now think I would pick Florida State over Oregon, despite Oregon having a better resume. And don't hate me for that answer. It's just my opinion. Okay, 2 more questions left. Mega UGA Dogs ask, if New Orleans won a Super Bowl, But he says New Orleans won the Super Bowl after Hurricane Katrina. Will Boston win the World Series after Hurricane Sandy? Just kidding. Oh, I mean the Boston Marathon bombing. I hope so. I think they can. They just can't make stupid mistakes that they did last night. That was aggravating. Who knows how that game would have ended up if Craig Breslow just threw that ball to third base. That was stupid. Alright, last question. A simple question. Buckeye Fan 2013 asked a question that I've not been asked yet and thought that's kind of interesting. He asked, who is your favorite YouTuber? Okay. I don't really have a favorite YouTuber by any means right now. I don't watch many videos. Don't really have the time to. So I don't really used to have a favorite YouTuber. I used to. But over time, I really have just realized these people aren't special. They're just people like you and me, people you see at Walmart. That's them, and just because they make videos to make them special. So I've never really got attached to a YouTuber. But back in the day, when I did watch a lot of videos, and I thought I put these people high on a pedestal, I think my favorite YouTuber was a guy named Tabe. I'm not sure if you watch him. He is a commentator, and he commentates Call of Duty gameplay. He's the first person I ever watched, and was the real reason why I got into YouTube. Like game-wise, I used to make Call of Duty videos years and years ago. Not really involved in the different things, and involved into finally this. So he's the real reason why I've gotten semi-big on YouTube and why I really started. But right now, I don't have a favorite YouTuber, but I think I have a favorite series or a favorite couple series from one guy. So I guess I don't know. I wouldn't call him my favorite YouTuber, but it's my most enjoyable videos that I actually watch, and it's what's his name? Mr. Hurricane. I watched his Dynasty series, his Minnesota Dynasty series, even though I don't hardly ever watch him like full through. And then he has a St. Louis Rams series. And the reason I like him so much is because they're so realistic. And I mean, they're not. I mean, it's so realistic. I mean, it's a video game, but he tries to make it realistic, and it's fun. I like realism in video games, so that's why I watch that, and it's fun. And so, if I had to have a favorite YouTuber right now, I'd probably have to go with him, even though it's weird saying that. But that's it, guys. Finally, hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Once again, I'm sorry about the weird camera angle. I gotta get something fixed. These stupid curtains let so much light through, and it just makes, when I'm recording a video, it makes the background look weird, makes my face look all distorted. So I don't want that. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Also, make sure you leave a question in the comment section below so you won't get left out of next week's episode. But till next time, roll Tide, go Sox, and go Titans to you. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/S3RTR. Have a great day. Peace.